Hello! I believe we are live now. This will
Mhm.
be the finale of the Great Empire of HIC. Um, we will continue putting things into this playlist because, as we stated at the very start, this is the Unda One-Shots deal. So we'll be back next week with several of the Unda One-Shots and one other week after that. And after that, you shall have to keep your ears peeled for whatever is next.
Feels like a banana.
Feels like a banana. I am Jay, my pronouns are they, them, and I'll be voicing Carcat plus others today.
And I am Satan. My pronouns are he, him, and I will be voicing Celix and others.
Wonderful. Now let's see if I have the words actually pop up as they are meant to this time. I did a double checky earlier. Am I rewarded? I am rewarded. I mean,
Your reward.
there's a white line for no freaking reason, but I suppose we
You just
shall
live there.
have to live with that.
Yeah, I
Um,
noticed a weird one earlier.
oh, I think it's because the ruler tool is showing. Okay,
Oh.
I can get rid of that. How do I get rid of that? See, this is the type of thing that. There we go. I should have caught in my double check, but hey, I am only immortal.
I wanted to make a joke, but it's technically a spoiler.
Oh no.
It's like, yes, the ruler.
Ah, yes. But all rulers are
Laughs.
hidden at current time. I'm a little confused. In the lives, I don't see anything happening, so I'm not actually sure if we are live or if we have been talking to nothing.
Talking to the void.
Talking to the void. Okay, it says
Was
we're
the void
live.
talking?
Oh my gracious goodness. Gosh.
What?
Okay, so we are live. People who hear this later will get the full context. We are live, but we're currently unlisted.
Oh, what? How
So
does that even work?
it means that people who had the link and got to us through the Discord have heard everything as they are supposed to, but only now are people hearing us. Slash, there might just be some minutes to catch up to. Um, Wonderful. Well, hey,
Oh,
this is why I like to edit things, and then I don't ever say dumb stuff aloud. It's a brilliant system, you see.
they don't get to hear us being dumb with a capital D.
Capital D. Okay. Final check, sorry, as I make sure that things are actually active.
Oh, a thing popped up for me saying it's live.
Oh, wonderful. Okay, that's comforting. So if it
Yeah.
ate the first couple minutes of like intros and whatever, I'm no longer at the point of caring. um,
Okay. It did not. I accidentally hit play and I just heard final checks.
oh, I didn't get those first minutes then?
Um, I think it's just a little bit behind us.
Gotcha. All right. Well, it's fine. The only important thing that people really need to know is my name is Jay, and I'll be reading for Carcat and others, and my pronouns are they, them.
And I'm Satan, he, him, Celix and others. Yeah.
Yeah. Wonderful. Great. Love to display the back of the back end of things with my screen. Just like had
Uh,
it on YouTube for a long time. Oh well.
y'all get to see the behind the scenes.
Behind the scenes.
Ooh.
If you've never live streamed before, behold, information.
Behold. All right. You still doing checks or are we ready to do the thing?
Ready to do the thing. Solix stays with you in wandering quadrants and crossed colors over the next 2 sweeps. You're not glued at the hip, he doesn't shadow you everywhere, but usually, wherever you go, he goes. You fight, you make up, you do a lot more than that. Your actions against Bold Luck did indeed save lives. No compromised information appears to have got out, and no one listened to a damn thing he had to say, and so the rebellion goes ahead as planned. The rebellion grows in size, and you and your comrades on other ships annex planets from Imperial control and start staking out actual territory. You get to a certain size, and it seems like you become a viable alternative to the Empire for people. Kids ditch the draft and escape off of Alternia to join your ranks. Important people on the Empress's side defect for yours. There's talk, whispers in meetings and in bars, that this is a war that can really be won and might be won soon. For one reason or another, you keep finding yourself in the thick of things, always there when important events go down, and Vriska and Terezi tell you that your name and face appear in Imperial briefings all the time. The Empress thinks that you're the head of the rebellion, and it's your head that she wants. Obviously, her intel is bad, but it still means that you're always on one move, from one mission to the next. Storming the Empress's ship happens almost entirely by accident, a perfect alignment of you having the forces right there and being just so close that you can't miss the opportunity. You call for more backup, and with no one else to lead what is now very obviously a fleet, you end up calling the shots. You board the royal ship, and you demand the surrender of everyone you meet. At first they refuse, but your forces, your friends, and you cut through them. When you make enough of a dent, people start throwing their weapons down. There are no guards who are willing to stop you by the time you get to her throne room. You throw the doors open, and Solix deflects what fire there is. Terezi and Vriska take their moment to show their true side, and start taking out anyone loyal enough to the Empress to still fight. Everyone knows of the powers of the Empress, mind control, psionics, and more still only whispered about. There's no evidence of any of this to your eyes. As you sweep into the room, her closest subjects finally surrender, abandoning her leadership. The Empress stands there in front of her golden throne, and all alone up there, clutching onto her crown and looking at you with hate and fear. You're on the ground level below, surrounded by all of your friends and people you trust. This isn't happening. This can't... Why? She hisses, backing up and still holding on to her crown. It's over. Surrender, you tell her, and point your sickle at her. Never! She howls and grabs her trident. She's not the first Sea Dweller you fought, and though her height and power give her an advantage, she seems thrown somehow. She draws first blood, a stab through your side that seemingly misses everything vital, but sprays mutant red around you. You get the second. You roll through her legs to avoid an attack, and with 2 deft slices, you remove her ability to stand or use her legs. You kick her weapon towards the crowd, one which has grown. Almost everyone who invaded the ship must be here, watching you. It's over, you tell her again. You can't let her live, Vriska insists. You look up from the Empress, bleeding and livid on the floor, to the room of people very keenly watching you. If you don't kill her, there will be loyalists forever trying to free her, and the people that she wronged will never have closure. Her era needs to end, and sometimes the optics of that message can be just as important as the message itself. Your friends are watching, sympathetic looks on their faces. They know you don't want this, but at the same time, you must. Why, I'm gonna... She snarls at you and opens her hand. You freeze, but nothing more than a psionic crackle comes to pass. You've seen more from Solix in his sleep. Listen, I'm sorry, but the Empire can't go on like this, you tell her, and pull her up by her shoulder. She tries to grab you, but her hands get mysteriously held back in red and blue. You shift your grip to one of her horns to hold her steady. I'm sorry, you say again softly. Fuck you, she snarls. That's fair. You don't want to think about what you're having to do right now. The Empress needs to die so that your species can move forward and do things right, so you can heal. It's not nice, but it's the right thing. You put your blade to her throat, and you end it. She slumps forward and her crown slips off of her head, sliding down one horn as the clasp pops open. It curls and starts to fall. Out of dumb reflex, you catch it. Your hand wraps around the metal, and you're staring at the Empress as she literally fades into an afterimage of herself. Behind her, an image just as ghostly of the former Empress, and behind her another woman of the same color, and back and back. What? You whisper. There's something behind you, and you feel it instinctively. You twist and face. You can't describe it, not as a whole. When you try, it's as if your eyes start to crawl their way out of your head in protest, but bits of you can. Shifting molten metal that watches, stares. It bubbles and burbles, coiling, and though nothing on it could be described as an eye, it is watching. What? You say again. It doesn't talk. There's just images in your mind, just thoughts shoved in there with all the care of someone plunging their hand into a bag of minced meat and rummaging around.
A bright hotness coming from the Alternian sky, crashing into the ground. A troll, a promise, blood. A troll who tries to be stronger than others but failed. To their killer goes the rough metal crown. A stronger troll, replaced by a stronger troll, replaced by a smarter troll, replaced by a smarter and stronger one. An unbroken line of improvement of dynasties and eons pass by, and you killed the Empress. Your war flashes through your mind, brought to the surface by attention that's not your own. Your strategic calls, the victories you had, the territory you took. You beat the Empress. It is yours. You won. You can command anyone now.
The thought makes you shake the presence off as you recoil. You don't want to subjugate, to terrorize, or maim people at all. You try to look at the thing rolling, boiling metal that radiates predatory interest. It seems to be thinking. Your pretty frugal childhood flares in your mind.
Only to be replaced by visions of gold and jewels, trinkets and adornments. So much more than you could ever want.
No, you tell it. You want money, but only because you have people to pay, ships to repair, people to help. A little cash to buy the few things you want for yourself here and there is enough for you. It reaches out with something, turns your head.
The line of succession behind you is all Tyrion, for as far back as you can see, though it stretches far further than that. In your head, visions of reversing the hemospectrum dance, making high bloods into the very thing they wanted low bloods to be. Vengeance, poetic justice.
No, you snap. You don't want anyone to be enslaved or ground down. None of that is what you want. The surface of whatever it is shifts like oil slick on water, dazzlingly prismatic and dangerously toxic. It bubbles, and its shape shifts a little in the waves that make you feel motion sick to see.
Your mind is filled to the brim all of a sudden with beautiful trolls, people who want nothing but you. It's a kind of sight so slick, writhing, and multicolored that if it happened to your husk top, you'd be sure it was now filled with viruses. You understand without being told that this is being offered to.
You don't want it. The idea of an endless sexy harem sounds great to people because those people haven't considered that it'd surely be horribly awkward. All of those names and intimate details to remember, and what if they didn't like each other? It'd be the most high-stakes shift scheduling you've ever had to do. Besides, would they really want you, and what kind of life would that be for those theoretical people anyways? It's a unique experience to feel the complete bafflement and building frustration of some entity that's almost as old as your species is as a whole, and that you can't even quite look at directly. Stupidly, you keep thinking. You wouldn't want a whole mess of people wanting to bang you at any given second. You're perfectly happy as you are now with...
Alex. He appears in your mind like a vision, perfect in his imperfections, and he fills you with adoration. Something like a smile curls around your think pan from the inside, like teeth nudging at your cortex. You care about him.
Oh, you shouldn't have thought about him. Now this thing knows about him. You should also be careful not to think of... Oh, god damn it.
You see Sullix and all of your friends, and the thing feels thoughtful. It watches you. You feel a sudden shifting of something, and you notice it first in Tavros. His hair graying, his face getting warped with age, and his body becoming feeble. It starts happening to Sullix too, and by the time Nepeta is graying at the temples, Tavros is dead on the floor.
And you're shouting, begging for it to stop.
A deal, then. You are seared like a brand through your soul.
And abruptly, you're back in front of your friends and the gathered crowd with the crown in your hands. You look at it and feel its smile in the back of your mind. You didn't agree to anything. This isn't... Whatever this is, it can't make you.
It laughs and you feel it in your blood and know full well that the sound didn't go through your ears. The Empress is dead.
A neutral male...
A neutral male voice.
Yeah.
Sorry, want me to get it since you've been
Yes,
reading
please.
a while? A neutral male voice comes from above you somewhere, echoing from several points around the room. It must be the ship's computing system. Without authorization from the rightful owner of the ship, the self-destruct sequence will begin. It continues.
What?
You shout.
Karkat, put the crown on. The ship might recognize you as the new leader if you do.
Kanaya says desperately.
But I don't want to be the leader.
You insist. Self-destruct starting in 2 seconds. The ship tells you.
Karkat Ventus, put it on!
Put it on! Several of your friends yell at once. You can't let your friends die. You jam the crown on your head and feel its satisfaction. You're an even stronger host than the last one.
Stop the self-destruct!
You shout up at the ceiling. Self-destruct sequence deactivated, Emperor Vantus. The voice announces. No, why did it have to say that of all things? The words Emperor Vantus ripple around the room, and there's no way that they can be taken back.
I didn't want to rule. I just want to fix things.
You say unhappily.
I think that's part of the job now.
Terezi grins and hops up onto the same level as you. You're next to the solid gold throne. You don't want a solid gold throne. In fact, if you had your way, you'd have every bit of it scanned and documented for posterity, and then melt it down so you can put it to good use. Actually, you can do that. Huh.
Emperor Ventus!
Terezi shouts, lifting your arm. Emperor Vantus, the thing in your head repeats. The crown. It's the crown that's pleased with this. Ooh, it did a jumpy. 1 second.
All good.
Oh, thank you. You're able to retreat to a room with your friends, leaving your crew to control the situation and do whatever they think is best. Honestly, you can't think about any of that right now.
I don't want to be an emperor.
You say in a panicked whine as you paced back and forth. Little late for that, Sullix points out.
But I'm not a leader. I can't be a leader. I mean, like a captain, sure, or for smaller shit, but not this.
You tell him. You obviously led the rebellion just fine. You won after all, Equius points out, and you stop to look at him.
It's not the time for that joke, Ek. Like, yeah, the rebellion didn't really have a leader. It was a group effort. The ha-ha, it's secretly Karkat joke is old.
You grumble.
That wasn't a joke, Karkat. You're the leader of the rebellion. There's no way you didn't know that.
Friska insists. Ugh, KK, I pity you, but you're denser than a black hole sometimes. Yes, you were the leader. Now you're the leader of the Empire. You'll be great. Celix groans.
Better than that, you'll be good.
Nepeta smiles, and something in you relaxes a little. Good, not as incompetent, but rather not evil.
Holy shit, there's so much to do. We need to make a list.
You mutter. Celix floats in the air and opens his husk top onto his crossed legs and watches you slightly expectantly.
We need to go through the crew of this ship. We'll work out who will work with us and who we need to get out of here. Gotta get word to the rest of the rebellion. Check out what's automated and change it. The drones and shit, I mean.
You start.
That last one I can do.
Celix nods.
We need to get this ship a power source that isn't a person, see what help we can offer them. We've got to go through all of her files, spread the news about her death to the rest of the Empire, and see how that goes.
You list off.
Huh. I wonder if this ship does have a helmsman. That voice we heard earlier wasn't one for Thor. That was a computer program.
Celix wonders aloud.
It's your ship, Carcat. Both the helmsman, if there is one, and this ship's computer system ought to respond to you. You could just ask,
Equius suggests. You look up at the ceiling, which is stupid, but it's a dumb instinct you can't fight.
Hello?
You ask. No response.
Helmsman?
You try again.
Error. The helmsman's speaking privileges have been revoked and locked. If you have an inquiry, I am happy to assist you,
A voice above says.
See? Computer program.
Celix nods.
Right. Where is the helmsman?
You ask.
The location of the helmsman is in the helm.
The computer responds. Celix facepalms and groans.
Tell it to fetch the administration data on the current helmsman,
He suggests when he takes his hands away from his face.
Fetch admission data on the current helmsman, please.
The current helmsman was installed on the 11th of the 6th, 7984 at 1:30 p.m.
The computer informs you.
That was almost 200 sweeps ago. No way is that right.
You whisper, but the computer is still talking.
Wait at time of helming. Title the psionic. Hatch name Matuna Captor.
It continues.
Captor?
You yelp.
Solix's ancestor. Explains the time.
Frisco whispers in awe.
Okay, we have to unplug him.
Celix insists, and you agree.
Celix, if the information on how many sweeps he has been in there is correct, then there's no way that he'll survive.
Equius warns.
You think he'd want to? Carcat, grant him speaker access again.
Celix says coldly and directs that last part at you. You're not sure about this, but you do as he says. The moment the permission falls from your lips, Celix's ancestor has access to the speakers again. The entire ship is flooded with the sounds of endless, anguished screaming, ringing through every room and echoing down every corridor. You revoke the access right away, but you're all shaken.
I'm going to unplug him,
Celix states.
No, you're not.
You counter. Celix freezes and then slowly turns to look at you with narrowed eyes.
Remember how certain things are blocked on our ship's network for me?
You ask him subtly. Boldluck's execution video is still restricted. Not that you've thought about trying to watch it in ages.
Equius can disconnect him and set up a temporary power source. Though I bet we don't have anything powerful enough to compete with him, I just want the life support and the computers running. He'll take care of it, painlessly. Right, Equius?
You say, and Equius nods. Celix doesn't need to see someone who'll probably look just like him in a state like that. It'll haunt him. You're pale for him, and you want to protect him. You divide tasks up between your friends, some of the tasks they think up before they'd occurred to you, and you drag Sullux away to anywhere else with computers that you can leave him to sift. Naturally, you only linger nearby to provide verbal access and authorization to things for him. He's distracted and tense, and he winces when the lights flicker. You wonder if he inferred that the helmsman just died or if he heard it. Two blue bloods interrupt your attempts to keep Sullux soothed and calm. Both of them look anxious as they eye you, but though you notice them, you do nothing until one of them actually says something. Emperor Vantis, sir, your excellency. One begins, bowing deeply.
It's Carcat.
You say.
Carcat.
The blue-blooded woman says, like it's a prayer, and bows even lower.
What can I do for you?
You ask, and the pair of them exchange looks that are equal parts confused and terrified.
There were, that is to say, a lot of people on the ship have questions.
The woman says as she looks up at you and then awkwardly straightens out of her bow.
All right.
You nod and idly run your fingers up the back of Celix's neck. The two of them stare but say nothing about it. What will happen to us now, Emperor Carcat? Emperor Vantis? The man asks.
It depends on if you're going to work with me or not.
You say simply. Yes, the Bronze Man and the Justice Pyrope were filtering out people loyal to the former Empress. But what, if we may ask, is going to happen now? He says.
We fix the Empire. No more hemospectrum, no more terrorizing people.
You say. The two of them look dubiously at each other.
Oh, come on. Haven't either of you ever felt that things were unfair? Didn't either of you have friends or quadrant mates in warmer shades and think it was unfair how they were treated? Or think it was unfair how you were treated compared to people colder than you?
You groan. They seem uncertain.
Answer me.
You tell them, and both of them tense up.
I'm sorry, Emperor Ventus. I may have... It's just that's how it is.
The woman says in a trembling voice.
Well, it doesn't have to be. It's not that way in the rebellion, and it won't be that way now.
You inform them both. KK, I need you to authorize this. Celix interrupts. You turn and look at the screen, reading and mumbling under your breath slightly.
Oh, so if I approve that, you have the same level of access and authority that I have over every system?
You ask, and Celix nods.
Oh, that's me. Sorry. I saw like the underlining and fully short-circuited.
Like brain turned off.
I did this
Do you mind
formatting in a rush. Yeah, I'll do narrator. But
thank you.
Yeah. But no one can have the same level of power as the Empress. Sorry, Emperor. The woman says hastily. Well, I'm the Emperor now, and I say he can. We're not doing things how they've always been done. You tell them both, and then verbally grant Sullix's permission request. Now he won't have to ask you for anything. Actually, can you tell me what the biggest room in this ship is? You ask the two blue bloods.
That would be the Grand Concert Hall, Emperor Vantis.
The man says. You really don't want people calling you Emperor Vantis, but you guess you have to put up with it for now. Could everyone who works on this ship fit in that one room? You ask. The two blue bloods share a look and then nod.
He's not trying to kill you all.
Sullux says without warning. Why would I kill everyone? You say in horror.
Because they worked for the Empress and you want them all mysteriously in the same enclosed space?
Sullux points out. What? No, I just want to talk to everyone at once. I don't want rumors going around about things I didn't say. Besides, without the people who already work on this ship, we're screwed. Even on my ship, I couldn't run the whole thing by myself if everyone just up and left. I don't know where exactly everything is or precisely how everything works. So, could you call a meeting for me? You say, asking the two blue buds that last part. If that's your order, Emperor, we will do it, the woman says and bows. That's okay. Tell people to start heading there. I'll be there in a moment. You nod, and the two of them bow again and back out of the room. I really can't wait until people stop acting like I'm gonna rip them open and throw their insides around like wet party streamers, you mutter.
Considering your predecessor, Emperor Vantis, I think you'll be waiting a while. Or maybe not. Anyone who can't see right through to the fact that you're a marshmallow in a leather coat and boots is an idiot.
Solix snorts and gently prods you in the side. If you start getting on my case about being an emperor when that's something I never wanted, I'm gonna shove your face in my armpit, you threaten, opening your coat.
The royal armpit!
Solix gasps. Fucker, you hiss, and so begins the entirely childish wrestling match and slap fight to shove his face in your underarm. The end result is Solix sitting a little way away from the computer, with you in his lap. I don't know if I can do this, Solix. I really didn't think I was leading anything more than our crew. To be the leader of everyone is something that's just... it's too big, you tell him.
I think you not gunning for the throne this whole time. Will you stop jumping, you motherfucker? Sorry.
I wasn't sure if you meant the cat or the page.
Page. Oh no, I'm at my my Moistbrit's house. Yeah, we're going with that term.
Moistbrit.
My Moistbrit's house. Moistbrit. So I do not have the cats.
Gotcha.
Let me try this again. I think... No, I'm just giggling. I think you not gunning for the throne this whole time makes you pretty uniquely qualified to keep it and not screw things up. Anyway, you've got all of us.
Solix points out. That is a very reasonable point. However, you have a counterpoint to that. Also, I think the crown is evil and sentient and trying to control me, you add. Solix laughs. You don't, and then he isn't laughing either.
Wait, seriously?
He asks. Maybe you shouldn't have said anything, but experience has taught you that when your instincts tell you to not tell Solix something, that you're probably wrong, because your instincts with Solix are often stupid as hell. You nod, and Solix looks carefully at your crown. At the crown on your head, the one you happen to be wearing. It's not yours.
The symbol on it is different. It was hers right in the middle before, but it's yours now somehow.
Solix says, and his fingertip taps on the arch of the band that sits across your forehead. It was trying to tempt me with money, power, or like unlimited romantic prospects, you tell him, and Solix snorts derisively.
Oh yeah, that's you all right. Desperate for power, gold, and you obviously hit on everyone you meet.
He snickers. I tell you that I'm potentially being controlled by some malevolent headwear, and your first instinct is to mock me? Very nice. You sneer and hop out of his lap.
No way is it magic. High tech, probably. It might have a neural component, but if you don't like it, then take it off.
He shrugs. You feel like you don't want to, but at the same time, he's right. You should take it off. Slowly, you lift your hands to your head and try to pull the crown free, but no matter what you do, the thing won't budge. At least now, Solix is starting to look concerned.
Stay still,
he tells you, and gets close to you, peering at the thing and trying to work a claw under the metal. He can't. He tries to psychonically pull it off of you, but all that achieves is suspending you a few inches off the floor by your head, which isn't comfortable at all.
Okay, that's concerning. I think I'm going to go look into this thing, see what I can find. My advice for now is just pretend like everything is cool. Go lead our species and don't make any deals with voices in your head.
Solix advises you, and you feel something bubbling in the back of your pan sneer at him. Something that isn't you. You have a meeting to attend to, and it pays to not be there waiting for people to arrive. That looks a little weak and needy. Thankfully, you can waste time getting there by having no idea where you're going and having to stop at several computer terminals to get directions. When you arrive, not only is Solix already in the packed room, but so are several of your friends, and you've no idea how they all got here before you without you seeing any of them on the way. Terezi throws a microphone at your head before you can start to talk. Solix catches you on stage. You'd seen him lingering nearby, and you figured it was to protect you, in case anyone tried anything, so you aren't expecting it when he sweeps you into an embrace on stage that you might call possessive if you didn't know better. Solix isn't usually one to actually be public with his displays of affection, and it's not as if he has any competition, is it? Even if you were interested or compatible with anyone else, you hardly see why anyone would be interested. You have nothing anyone would be interested in anyway. So it can't be possessive, despite it seeming like Solix is very publicly declaring that you're his. He must just be stressed from the day you've all had, or thrown by the helmsman situation. That must be it. Fucking Carquette.
You telling yourself that, buddy.
You keep telling yourself all kinds of things, buddy. With great care,
He's doing.
you extricate yourself from him and stand in front of everyone and begin to talk. I understand if I'm not your most favorite person right now. I just killed your last boss, and now I'm sure you're all worried about the future. I understand that. But I don't want to fire people for no reason. I don't know how this ship works, and there's no fucking way the Empress did either. It was people like you who kept things running. It always is. We've taken away people who we think would be an actual danger, but unless you're planning on killing one of us, I'm not planning on kicking anyone out of their jobs, you announce. The crowd looks dubious. Things are going to change, yes, but look, we are working this out as we go, and if you think we're doing something wrong, then talk to us. We're not going to kill people just because they look at us funny, you assure them. More dubious looks.
And why should we even take orders from a mutant like you? You're not royalty. You had no right.
A man shouts from the crowd. Solix, could you bring him up here, please? You ask with a smile that's all teeth. Solix raises an eyebrow, but does as you say, picking the now screeching man up and dropping him on the stage near you. That's better. What's your name? You ask the man who is backing away from you, but considering the other people on the stage, he seems to be unsure about where to go. Then he seems to remember who he's talking to, and that he's not scared of you on principle, so he straightens up to answer.
I am Sourshot,
he says pompously. And you think that the Empress and all her policies were great then, yeah? You ask.
Yes.
Sourshot declares. Good, great. What do you do here? You ask. The crowd is watching carefully.
I am a policy administratorizer,
he says haughtily. Great handling of that word.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I did a little bit of a panic, but like I got it.
You got it. First try every time.
Yeah, hell yeah.
Well, not anymore, you're not. I'm hiring you for something else. I think I'm going to call it the opposition. You can be the leader of that, you say with a nod. Sourshot seems to be very thrown by this, not sure if this is a good or a bad thing, or exactly what his reaction should be.
That's not... You can't just make things up.
Sourshot says uneasily. I can, though, you tell him cheerily. Think about it, though. I think that the Empress was evil, and everything she did was terrible. But no one is wrong or right all of the time. But I'm going to assume that she was, because I don't want to be like her. But it's helpful to have someone arguing for the other side. If there's shit from her regime worth keeping, then you should be the one arguing for it. You're not going to get anywhere with that mutant or hemocasis shit, but with other things, you might, you tell him. You get to watch the desire for power and the desire to oppose you on principle war across Sourshot's face. Everyone else in the room is watching your exchange as well. You're not an idiot. This exact offer isn't important in and of itself. The idea of having a more balanced decision-making process is one you like, and it makes it harder for those against you to claim that you're opposing everything that's traditionally done for no reason. It doesn't have to be this guy, but it's pretty symbolic. If he can work with you, then maybe the old can transition seamlessly into the new without violence or unrest from this point. It's the symbol that's important, as it so often is.
Fine then. I'll put a stop to this madness of yours.
Sourshot nods sharply. You can try, you tell him with a devilish grin. The process of transferring leadership is never easy. They don't show that kind of stuff in movies. It's all dramatic battles and significantly less of the paperwork and meetings that come after. You try to be considerate and listen to everyone's concerns and wants, but all the while you can feel the crown watching you from inside your own mind. It speaks to you again when you're sleeping, in actual words as well as images and thoughts this time.
I have seen inside your mind.
It tells you, formlessly and without a mouth, in a way that makes you feel a little sick to look at. If you don't like it, you could leave, you offer hopefully.
No, you're the most powerful. I need that. I need the strongest host.
It hisses. Your eyes water even within your dream. Then I guess we're at an impasse, you tell it.
No. Mina tried to remove me, and then wrung and bargained for as much power as she could to be stronger when she saw what I could do. She fought, had fire in her.
The crown hisses in your synapses. Had, you point out, past tense.
Your soul, your mind.
The crown continues as if you hadn't spoken.
You don't want power. You don't like it, even.
It's necessary, you shrug, and the ripple of disgust is almost visible in the nothingness around you of your dream.
You don't want to hurt, to crush, to rend, to prove you're strong.
It despairs. Well, that's not strength, that's being an asshole, you argue.
The only even slightly tolerable thing is that you want to pale.
It goes on, and that sure is Solix's naked form that you have floating before you now. We are not talking about him, you tell the crown.
You're so boring. You only want to pale him, and you're nice about it.
It sneers. Nice? You repeat back.
Yes, nice. You want him to feel good because you want him to feel good, not as a testament to your bulge being so godly that it... Oh, you fucker. Sorry.
Another jump.
Yeah.
Rip.
Oh my god, let's try that again.
Yeah.
Yes, nice. You want him to feel good because you want him to feel good, not as a testament to your bulge being so godly that it'd make men fill a pail at just the touch of it. Or to bend him to your will, to debase him or get what you want. You're nice about it.
The crown says in dismay. I don't want it to be like that at all. I care about him, and we're happy, thanks, so leave it alone, you snap.
I could make it better.
The crown says into your mind temptingly. No, you tell it. The thing sighs in despair.
If your soul had a color, it'd be beige.
The crown sneers at you and abruptly wakes you up and keeps you awake against your will. Solix stirs when you wake and offers you a very nice way to relax, but with the feeling of being watched, you can't really take him up on the idea. Which, judging from how quickly he goes back to snoring at the edge of the recupercoon, is fine by him. Want to switch narrator? Or, I guess we're...
Yeah, of course.
Sweet.
Oh, that did a crunchy. What happened?
I was like, I guess we're pretty close to the end, but I would like a switch, so thank you.
Oh, yeah, I can switch that. 1 second. Still, frustrated malevolent forces aside, your new rule that you didn't really want is starting to go well. You televise all of your policy meetings and debates with the opposition, which is a stroke of brilliance and gives the media a lot to chew over. Especially now that you've made it clear that news sources that do more than textually try to suck you off are allowed and encouraged. It also doesn't seem like the crew of the Empress's ship has a bad word to say about you either. Who knew that not being the kind of leader who would launch people out of an airlock because of a bad hair day would make you popular? It's still difficult, though. So much of how your predecessor ran things was chaotic, and shifting power into the hands of your friends and former allies helps and makes you feel better, but so much information is lost. You don't even know where all of the information about conquered planets has gone. It's presumably backed up to somewhere, but the death of the helmsman corrupted a fair few things, and obviously you can't ask him now. Even sweeps into your role in the position you never wanted or asked for, you keep running into problems. Tavros has come back to the ship after a sweep on his own, trying to free a planet that the Empress enslaved, and has been disentangling the political situation for you. The whole thing would have gone 10 times faster if any of the information about that planet was available to any of you. It's good to see him, though.
Tav.
You smile welcomely and hug him close. His metal knee bumps yours, and you imagine that the metal part of your thigh clanks against his. The staff bring you dinner. You've got the people on the ship to at least just call you sir, rather than anything else more formal.
The whole thing was a nightmare.
Tavros grunts as he sits down next to you. Oh, jeez. I still need to figure out where the fuck my Tavros voice is. I'm sorry about that.
I think that was a good start on it, though.
I'm doing my best, Your Honor.
Sustained.
Wait. Wait, staff bring food out for you both, only you have to drop your conversation to ask why an olive lady, Arid Tier, is working, because you swore you've got her out of that. It was her anniversary with her mate split this week, and she was taking the time off to go visit her.
Oh, sir, it's so sweet of you to have remembered, but I really can't.
Arid Tier says quietly.
Was it getting the time off? Because I can absolutely...
You begin.
She dumped me right after I'd bought the non-refundable ticket to go see her. Her kismesis flipped on her. Apparently, they've been vacillating for a while without telling me, and...
Her breath hitches.
Oh no, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to bring it up. I just thought...
You flounder for something to say.
No, it's fine, really. I shouldn't even be saying anything. I'll just stay here. Please, enjoy your food.
She sniffs and bows.
Shit. I feel like an asshole now.
You mumble.
I think you were trying to be thoughtful, actually.
Tavros says.
Yeah, but I put my foot in it.
You say unhappily and quickly, that's not a word. You say unhappily and quickly whip your tablet out to order her an unreasonable amount of ice cream and romance movies to be sent to her block so that if she wants to mourn her relationship, she can at least do it in style.
Well, Brashand has confessed to hiding their copy of the records to that planet and not telling you so that they could keep it as their own little empire.
Tavros moves on.
What a shithead. I'm glad you've fixed it, but I dread to think of how many other places are exactly the same. What else don't we know?
You despair.
Time will tell, I guess.
Tavros shrugs and swallows his drink down.
You know, it might sound weird or something, but I always feel better when I come back here.
Tavros says softly.
My company can't be that good, Nitram. You know you don't have to lick my boots.
You snort. Tavros snorts as well and nearly drowns in his cup of wine, though you can see it glistening on his nose ring when he pulls the cup back after.
Ha. No, not like that. I don't know. Maybe it's a lot of time in a strange place or something. I was starting to feel my age a little, you know? I swear I was starting to see gray hair, too.
Tavros says, gesturing to his ever-present mohawk. Your eyes flick up, and yeah, you see it. Little streaks of paler color.
At the back of your mind, your crown flashes up that old fear of your friends aging and dying.
You feel the same instinctive no to the idea you can't have that happen. As you think it, before your eyes, the gray shifts back to black, and when Tavros smiles at you again, he seems a little lighter, a little brighter.
Mine now, comes the thought in the back of your head, like teeth closing around your neck. You have to stay like this now. It gave you power you wanted, so you are bound to its desire for power and strength.
Luckily for you, you are already the most powerful troll in the universe. Break time!
Da 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 da.
Da 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 da. We will be back in 15 minutes. I will put up the little array.
Time to water and be water.
Yes. More water, more tea, all of the good things.
Water, more tea. Okay, so it is 23. I know how math works.
Right, so 38?
Sounds about right. Talk to you again in a little bit. I'm gonna just mute myself.
Wonderful. I shall play the music.
Aye, aye, Capitan. Doop doop.
I am also back. Hello.
No.
It's amazing. We're even early. You're welcome, all of you.
Look at us. Early from break.
Early from break. Wonderful.
It's almost like we enjoy doing this or something.
Oh my gosh. It's so crazy you'd say that. Like, same. Like, whoa. Like, are we twinsies? Okay, I'm
Maybe.
getting rid of the ruler on this other document so I can have my nice car-cat gray bar in its proper place. And... ha ha ha. Oh, I'm too far up on the thing, but... Welcome to our scripting notes, everyone. I'll make this into a more legible document for people later. But right now, we're at 4.5.
Let me get my ass in there because I forgot to do that.
All good.
Yay, I'm located.
Wonderful. Glad to have you, as always.
Wait, does Nyx come back in this one?
Nyx does not speak, but is mentioned.
Aw.
Like, he speaks to, the people we're not talking about yet. It's cute. We've started saying Carcat Plus and Solix Plus at the start of these in part so you guys can have some surprise if you've not actually read these stories before. There are some, appearances you might not expect.
Secret appearance.
Secret appearance in the long fic. Secret, 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 secret.
From the Unda.
From the Unda. Unda's like, yeah, let me throw a few more in here. This is good soup.
All right. Am I starting? Are you starting? Who's kicking off 0.5?
I don't mind much. I started last time. Let's have you continue.
Sounds Gucci. It happens again, a few sweeps after that. It's the anniversary. You hate it. You hate to celebrate a day that you slit a woman's throat on purpose for a crown you didn't want. It's not really about that, though. It's a chance for your friends to have an excuse to all get together in the same place. No one can argue with them about having to be back for the anniversary of the coronation. Not when they're so close to the emperor of all people. Wouldn't want to disappoint him, of course. Naturally, they'd stay, doing whatever thing they're using you as an excuse to avoid. But it's the emperor, you see. What a load of shit. But you do like seeing them, so you don't push it much. Unfortunately, it means that a lot of other important people want to attend the festivities and that you'd rather avoid, but you can't. You're desperate to get out of some conversations that you are forced to have. Ah, sir, there's a strange signal that we're picking up. One of your staff, Bad Cover, tells you awkwardly as you are talked at by the Chancellor of Financial Exchanges and Tax Setting.
Oh no, that sounds terrible. I'm sorry, Chancellor. I have to see this. My apologies.
You apologize formally and grab Bad Cover's arm and walk away. Sorry to interrupt, Bad Cover says.
Bad Cover, I'd have come with you if you'd told me that you'd wanted help picking a new color to paint the wall in your block. I cannot stand that man.
You say under your breath, and Bat Cover only just conceals his laugh under a cough and leads you the right way. It's a signal from a shuttle, is the thing, but it seems weird to me, Bad Cover says as he points to some readouts on the screen. You make a thoughtful noise in the hope that he'll elaborate. Well, the signal ought to be from a fighter ship, but the long-range scanning systems seem to show that it's a relatively small scout ship. Long-range scouting, but still just scouting. It doesn't match, Bad Cover explains.
That is weird. Maybe it's a problem on our end? Let me get Solix here.
You mumble, shoot him a message. I thought that, which was why I checked it. Whoa, do I know how to read?
No, there's an it and a the there.
Oh, okay. I'm not going crazy.
You're
It's not me this time.
Not you.
I
I thought that, which was why I checked the logs of other satellite feeds further back. If it was a problem with us, that should be fine, but no. They agree with our scans. It's been going one way for a while, but it's just changed course towards us a few hours ago. Bad cover adds.
Have you tried hailing them?
You ask. Not without your authorization for something this weird. No, he says, shaking his head.
Probably smart.
You murmur. What? Selleck says, not even asks. He just steps in the room and spits the word out like it offends him.
You're my worst employee.
You inform him. Am not, Selleck counters. He's been angling a bit more pitch lately, and you can oblige, especially when he's this annoying.
Look at this.
You tell him. Selleck comes over, elbows you out of the way, and peers at the screen. The irritation melts off, a pretty sure sign that it was mostly for show, and he sits in the chair. That doesn't make sense. Have you hailed them? Selleck asks, and Bad Cover shakes his head. Smart. I'm moving the ship closer so we can get a better look. Selleck tells you. He doesn't ask. It's your ship, goddammit, but fine. The ship moves at nothing like the speed it could before when the former helmsman was powering it, but it's still faster than anything else of comparable size in your fleet thanks to Equius's genius engineering. He gets close enough to scan the ship a little from a distance and bring back a picture.
That's...
You trail off as you peer at the blurry image. That's not a ship, Selleck says slowly.
Well, it's obviously a ship.
You counter. Okay, yes, it's not a bowl of fruit, and it is actually a spaceship, but it's not a real ship. That's the wings from a T-75, and those were discontinued before your reign even started. And they sure as shit don't belong on a small non-atmosphere entering vessel like that cargo shuttle part they're attached to. None of that matches what the ship tells us it is either, Selleck says. Selleck whips up a hailing message to them without asking for your permission at all and sends it. You know it used to annoy some of your crew and indeed many of your other subjects. You hate thinking of people like that, but that's technically what they are. People accepted that your friends took slices of your power for their own work and that you bow to their judgment in their own areas, but Selleck isn't like that. He acts as if he has the same given right to do as he pleases as you do, as if his word has all the authority that only yours should have. He's not the one wearing the fucking Eldritch crown, but he acts like it. It pisses some people off, but you think by now most have got used to that just being how things are. Besides, it's not like he's ever actually disobeyed any of your orders on the rare occasion that you give them. Selleck sits back in his chair and waits. Soon enough, a return message pings back, but it doesn't quite make sense. The response doesn't totally match the codes that go with it. The message tells you that the crew are in distress and you should please help now, thanks.
That has trap on it in big neon flashing letters.
You say. No shit, Selleck agrees.
Can you get a little closer, scan it more?
You ask, and Selleck rolls his eyes like that's a dumb question. There's two things alive in there. That's about all I can tell you from here. Selleck finally concludes.
How warm are they?
You ask. If it's fish trolls, then you're pretty sure just what kind of trap you're looking at. Mid-ish? Selleck shrugs.
All right. I want the holding deck cleared and a lot of armed guards down there on either side of a force field to contain whatever's in there.
You order the room at large, and people rush to do what you say. You're going to ruin your party, Selleck points out.
Oh, no.
You tell him, entirely lacking in sincerity. Oh no, my party that I hate.
Oh, wait,
How
not the
unfortunate.
tax guy. I wanted to talk to the tax guy. I did.
Taxes.
The one thing Karkat
Your
cares
ship
about in every
slowly
universe. Tax.
Like the tax guy?
Tax guy.
Your yes. Your ship slowly drifts over to the very obviously a trap ship, and you take it inside the holding deck carefully. Bodyguards hover around you. More importantly, you have Sullix next to you who can stop anything that might ever come near you. The ship slides inside and gravity switches on around it, making it clunk to the floor in a way that suggests it never took off from the ground despite the wings stuck on it that atmospheric ships have. You wait for a while, but no one comes out.
This is boring.
Friska finally declares and puts a hand to her temple.
No, don't.
You say uselessly.
Huh. I can't control them, but they are asleep now.
She says, and steps through the force field and wanders into the ship with Terezi right after her.
Why do I bother?
You mutter to yourself. What the two of them come out with is a pair of aliens. They're a whole new species that you don't know, and the ship's incomplete records have no recollection of. Obviously, they have had contact with the Empire, or else where did they get the ship's parts from? You have them kept in a neat little room that's carefully designed so as to give them as few weapons as possible. Their many weapons are confiscated, and the rest of their Silodexes examined with care by Terezi.
Don't you think you should handcuff them, at least?
Kanaya asks as you crouch by the lounge plank and run your fingers over the soft pink skin of the one with long hair.
I have Solix. If he needs to hold someone down, he absolutely can. I know that.
You tell her idly and pick at the alien's hair in its strange whitish yellow color. No horns, though. So strange. They look like trolls, is the thing, more than the other alien species you've known. These aliens, though, are like trolls but with different colors and no horns. They're still vaguely troll-shaped. It's weird.
Karkat phrasing.
Kanaya laughs softly, and Sullix snorts in amusement behind you.
You replay your last statement and its implications about the things that Solix may or may not do with his psionics. Curse Kanaya and her entirely correct interpretation of your words. Fuck you.
You curse at her without any real feeling. Oh, I'm sorry. Were you taking over?
Yeah, just
Sure.
a bit. Fuck you. You curse at her without any real feeling. The long-haired one murmurs sleepily, and you perk up.
If they're waking up, maybe don't be so...
Solix cuts himself off as the other alien springs into motion, lunging for you in your split second of distraction. Solix catches them, though, and dangles them upside down, where they thrash in impotent rage. Oh, hi, thanks for the nice welcome. Do you speak Alternian? You ask, standing up and keeping out of the creature's range.
Go fuck yourself, troll.
It snarls at you in perfect Alternian, even if the syllables do sound a little weird out of its alien mouth. Well, that answers that, you sigh.
If that one's woken up, the other one will too, no doubt. I'll just pick them up too, unless you want the jump scare.
Solix says dryly, and the longer-haired one starts to levitate.
Don't touch her! I'll kill you and your fucking empress!
The first one threatens you. Oh, so the other one is a her. I won't hurt her, you tell them, and then process the words they just said. Empress? You repeat. The alien frowns behind the dark pointy glasses and mouths something for a moment.
Empress.
They repeat.
Your fish bitch leader, tall, big hair, evil.
Oh, Kanaya says softly. Her imperious condescension, You nod, and the alien bares its blunt little teeth in what you're going to read as anger. She's dead, you say. The long-haired one mumbles and flails to right herself in Solix's levitating hold. She opens her eyes. Oh, they're pink on white. How interesting. She sees you and gasps. Her hands fumble for weapons she no longer possesses, and she scowls when she realizes that she's been disarmed. "We'll never talk!" she shouts at you. You wonder if you should point out that the other one has already been talking a bit. "Fuck the Empress! Death to the Empress!" the girl adds furiously.
Hell yeah, death to the Empress. You're kinda late to that party, though,
Solix says with dry amusement. The two aliens look confused and suspicious. "I killed her, took her crown. I'm the Emperor now," you explain, and tap the crown on your head, and the thing in the back of your mind that's honestly never really done you any harm shifts in displeasure at your claw ringing on its surface. The two aliens exchange a look. Seemingly they hadn't expected this.
Death to you, then.
The first one with the sunglasses says, but he sounds a little uncertain. "I'm sorry, I don't know your names. Solix, can you put them down? I'm Carcat. What are your names? And what are you? Where are you from?" you ask, and Solix does set them down, but he doesn't let go.
You conquered our planet and you don't know?
The one with glasses demands. "Oh, no. I've not taken any planets. I don't do that. The Empress must have, but we lost a lot of records in the takeover. Whatever she did, I'm very sorry for it," you apologize, crouching down to look at them again. I'm Roxy. This is Dirk." The girl, Roxy, says.
Roxy!
Dirk protests. "Ignore him. What do you mean you lost records?" Roxy asks. So the other one is a him. Okay. We had a helmsman, but that's barbaric. We couldn't save him, so we had to put him out of his misery. Sorry, Solix. I know you hate it," you murmur, looking back at him.
It's fine.
Solix mumbles. It's not. He has bad dreams about it. "But that whole process caused a few glitches, and my predecessor was pretty shit at record keeping anyway, especially with the things she considered classified, so we lost a lot of things. We've mislaid a few planets that we've been rediscovering in the sweeps since. I guess your planet was one of them," you explain. "That's why she didn't come back then, because you killed her and then didn't know about us?" Roxy asks. "I assume so. So, what are you? Where are you from? What happened?" you ask. "One thing at a time, Carcat," Kanaya reminds you. In order. Humans, Earth. She basically destroyed our planet and enslaved us," Roxy explains. "That's awful," Kanaya says softly. "I'm so sorry. If I'd known, I would have come to fix things right away. We don't do slavery anymore. I'm very firm on that," you tell them both.
You want us to believe that you'll just fix what she did?
Dirk sneers. "I can understand why you wouldn't," you nod. Solix traced the path their ship took here back to their homeworld. To Earth. I want to see what the situation is there and what we can do. Get Tavros to get his ship together with a basic aid starter. Kanaya, can you get these two scanned so we know how humans work? I don't want to accidentally hurt anyone. You start listing out.
Wait, no, you can't go to Earth.
I have to fix the things she did. Don't worry, I won't hurt anyone. You tell them, and sweep out of the room. You want to go see their ship and find out more about them. Solix is right behind you as you walk. Humans. Humans. Humans? Damn it, you mutter as you go. Computer, play back what the alien girl said her species was for me, please, you say, looking up. Obligingly, Roxy's voice echoes back the word. Humans. Thank you, computer, you tell it, and mumble the new word to yourself a little more. A nervous voice says near you, and you look around. There's a new recruit on your ship, the same kind of build as Solix, and a gold blood too, only his eyes are orange and green. He looks really young, and to your shame, you can't remember his name, but you do know he was on the latest ship of recruits here, and he works in astronavigation. Yes? You ask, deliberately not saying his name.
Sorry, his imploring compassion of Emperor Vantis, sir.
The young private bows dutifully. Just, just sir is more than enough. Wait, his what? People aren't calling me that, are they? You gasp as the words hit you. The private straightens up worriedly, and Solix glares at him.
Do you know how long I've been keeping that one from him so I could drop that on him at just the right moment? Thanks a lot.
Solix bitches, and the young gold blood looks mortified.
Yes, they do call you that.
Solix confirms. Aw, no. It's nice enough, of course, and you'd rather have that epithet than your predecessors, but it's so nice. Nice isn't cool or inspiring, is it?
At the back of your mind, the lazy, unknowable force of your crown stirs, and half-heartedly tries to tempt you with visions of people on their knees, quaking in terror at your might.
Yeah, no thanks.
It does that non-corporeal equivalent of shrugging and rolling back over to sleep. Like, I tried.
I tried.
Nap time. I tried.
He felt for a moment like he might want to be thought of differently, but then I showed him the consequences and he got sad again.
like, oh, okay, bye.
Bye. Temptation? Still no? You had, of course, told your friends about the sinister. Sure.
Oh yeah, sorry. I know how words work, I promise.
You're good. Words are good.
You had, of course, told your friends about the sinister crown and shared your suspicions of its powers, all of which certainly fitted the unusual gifts the former empress had shown before you. Also, no one could find any art of any empress without a crown, and no mention was ever made of old ones being destroyed or new ones made. Yours looks very different from when you put it on. No longer a gaudy gold, but now it's a simple and highly polished platinum band that gleams in your hair and somehow never dusts, tarnishes, or shows so much as a fingerprint. You've all tried taking it off, but it just won't come, and you went through too much trouble to get here to decapitate yourself just to remove a crown. The best advice your friends can give you is just try to stay a good person. They'll keep an eye on you for that, and don't make any more deals. You hadn't meant to make the last one, though. What did you want? Celix asks the young pirate. I almost said pirate. Private.
Pirate roots coming back.
Oh. The pirates. The pirates return. Oh, sorry. You do know that it's an AI, right? It's just a glorified search engine. It doesn't really think. You don't need to thank it, he says.
Well, there's no reason I shouldn't either.
You say, slightly flustered. I think he's worried that it'll somehow become sentient, and he'll offend it by not being thankful for its work. Celix grins teasingly. You hate him sometimes, even more when he's right.
I have work to do.
You announce and march off to where you left the alien ship. Surprising no one, Equius is already inspecting their ship with great care, assisted by Terezi. You walk over to them, but Celix catches up with you before you get there. I was only teething, Celix says, believably contrite as his claws find purchase on the semi-fancy royal robes the Kanaya insisted on making you.
Tough. I'll never forgive you.
You lie, attempting to keep walking. Mysteriously, you're floating now. He pulls you back against his chest and squeezes you. Your blood pusher flutters, and in your mind there's a flicker of interest. Your crown very obviously liked Celix. He is as close to what the crown considers to be a real vice as you get. His imploring compassion is a pretty accurate title. You just keep asking people to be nice, and eventually they give in or, I guess, die out, he tells you sweetly.
Shut up.
You grumble, squirming out of his grip with your face hot. He laughs but lets you go. You're the goddamn emperor of your whole species and a guardian to or in alliance with several more on top of that. You refuse to be picked up and cuddled like a stray meow beast, especially in public. You march your way over to the slapdash ship, and yeah, from this close up, we really can see how it's just parts of others stuck together. Trezzy sticks her head out of the door and grins at you.
This is all very exciting.
Trezzy says cheerfully.
Oh no.
You groan. Terezi announcing excitement like that inspires the kind of dread that, hey, look, no hands, might in other people. This is a bad idea, and something bad will happen.
What do you know from them?
Terezi asks and leads you into the ship with Celix following.
Their names are Roxy and Dirk. Dirk's the one with the eyewear. He's a he, and Roxy is a she. They are humans from Earth. It seems like the Empress took them over and then abandoned the project. I would guess she came back here to try to stop our takeover. Then records got lost and...
You sigh and wave your hands to indicate the
Ether.
The ether?
Yeah.
Ah. To indicate the ether that so many files vanish into. Oh my goodness. I haven't even started talking like Celix again yet. I'm already spitting on myself. Blech.
Life of a speaker.
How long did it... What?
That's the life of a speaker.
Mm-hmm. Like, oh no, somebody please help. It's nothing but saliva the whole way down.
Mouths are terrifying if you think about it for too long.
I don't want to think about it for too long. It's like, Unda, if you're listening to this, I am so sorry.
I'm not. Suffer, all of you.
Suffer. Y'all can deal with us being silly goofy when we forget how words work.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, continuing on. How long did it take them to get here? This thing doesn't look very fast, and no way either of them powered it, Sulik says as he climbs into the ship as well and starts to have a look around. It's using a very primitive nuclear fuel system, among other things, Aqueous explains.
Yeah, I noticed some solar cells on the outside.
You agree, and Sullix gives you a look that's distressingly pitying. Stupid book stuck in your memory forever.
So they can't have been going fast. Look at this.
Trezzy says, and leans you over to one wall. You lean over a lounge plank and peer at a board that's stuck above it. There's pictures of the two humans on the wall, but in some of them, they look so little.
How long have they been on this thing? It's just the two of them, isn't it?
You ask. There's got to be a computer system, Sulik says with a frown. Yes, but I can't read anything it's saying. Whatever operating system this thing runs on, it's all... What did you say, Carcat? Human? Aqueous says, and you nod. Like hell, let me see, Sulik says, his pride obviously wounded as he elbows his way past Aqueous to the controls up front.
It's an Alternian ship, more or less. Maybe it has a proper computer system that works verbally.
I forgot that I was narrating for a second. I'm sorry.
That's how it goes.
Do you mind switching out?
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Carcat muses. But it's obviously been modified, and it's not your ship, Terezi points out. If there's any part of it that's still Alternian, it has to answer to me. It's made up of bits of what are technically mine, by right. Even if I don't act that way, it's still true. Even your ship is still technically mine, you point out. You just know better than to say things like that, Terezi says, with far too many teeth in that smile. No shit, you mutter. Hello, ship, is there a computer system on here? You ask, looking up.
There is.
A voice comes out in smooth Alternian. Fuck yeah! What's the name of this ship? You ask it.
Trojan horse.
The computer tells you, dipping into a language you don't understand. You suppose they would name a ship something. You suppose they would name a ship that they made something in their own tongue. Trojan horse? Okay, thank you. How long have you been flying to get here, Trojan horse? You say unsteadily.
It's Trojan horse. Also, that's the ship's name, not mine.
The voice says a little sharply, or maybe you're imagining it? Shit, I'm sorry. What's your name? If you have a name, I don't want to just call you computer or mangle your ship's name. You apologize. The ship pauses for a moment or two, a little longer than you would have thought reasonable, but it does speak again.
Hal. I'm called Hal. This ship has been flying for 19 years, which is approximately 8.8 sweeps.
Hal says, and your eyes widen. How old are Dirk and Roxy? You ask worriedly.
Splitting the difference between their ages, they are, on average, one paragraph older than that.
Hal says. You sit down on the lounge plank, or more accurately, your legs give out and you fall on it. Were there other humans on this ship then? Or a Lucis? Wigglers can't pilot a ship, you exclaim.
No other humans. We could only support life for two. There was a robot that cared for them when they were small, and the Alternian AI that was.
Hal stops.
There were no other humans. Oh, sorry.
You're good.
There were no other humans. Humans do not have Luci, and the ship self-pilots.
It finishes. That's awful. Sorry, I mean, thank you, Hal. It's not your fault that the answers are so... You sigh. You want to know what drove a species to shoot wigglers into space on what you can only guess was a mission to kill your predecessor. Except you already know. Desperation and vengeance.
KK, stop being polite to the computer and make it show me a translation so I can use the goddamn keyboard. It's pitiable of you, but it's just a program.
Solix shouts down to you from up front. Could you do the "it's pitiable but it's just a program" Discord mangled you, and I think that might come out in the read?
Oh, I'm sorry.
It just got the word pitiable, but you know, a whole thing. It's Discord's fault. You're good.
It's pitiable of you, but it's just a program.
Yeah. Solix shouts down to you from up front. Hal, you're a modification of the computing system that was on here originally, right? Or an addition, at least? You ask.
An addition is an accurate statement.
Hal says in a neutral voice. So you read Alternian as well as speak it? You ask.
I can read and speak thousands of languages, Alternian included.
Hal informs you. Could you send Solix, the gold blood up there who just shouted down to me, a translation of the keyboard, or help him navigate through your systems? You ask.
You're very polite for a tyrant, you know.
Hal says, and your mouth falls open a little in shock. Terezi hoots in laughter. What? You say quietly.
Polite for a tyrant. That's what you are, aren't you? You aren't elected, and my perusal of your databases show me that you gained your position by slitting the Empress's throat. Thanks for that, by the way. I could very easily shut the door and suck all the air out of here. That'd fulfill the mission of killing the leader of the trolls.
Hal says, in a voice that can only be described as nonchalant. Solix and Equius rush into the room you're in. I wouldn't recommend that, you tell Hal with some concern.
Yes. Solix Captor's records indicate his psionic strength. Probably not a smart move.
Hal agrees.
How are you in my system?
Solix snarls. Hal's not an AI, or not like the ones on the ship, right? You say in wonder.
They're morons.
Hal scoffs. You're a real person, right? Not an artificial intelligence, but just a person. You say.
It's a homicidal AI trying to kill us.
Solix snaps. The door is still open, you know. Terezi points out, but no one listens. Sorry, you glance up.
Oh, I suppose.
Hal says. He's a person, even if he is trying to kill us. We've all killed people. We're still people, you argue back.
This doesn't really seem like the appropriate argument to be having right now if he intends on killing us.
Equius points out. I'm going to stand outside now. Terezi sighs and walks out. Besides, you don't want to kill me. I don't think a crown would fit on you. You tell Hal.
What?
Hal says back.
Can you not plan your succession right now?
Solix demands. Over! Terezi groans and leans back into the ship, and with a swift back and forth, manages to nail all of you in the face with her cane. The door is open! He's not killing anyone! You're all idiots! She snaps, and Hal laughs wildly from above you all.
Terezi Pyro, you are very fun. Also, I'm fairly sure that if you'd done that to the last Empress, you'd be dead by now.
Hal laughs a little more. Maybe if I'd pushed the last Empress out of a tree for being a big old nerd when we were kids, then I might have got away with that. But she sucked, and this big nerd is fine. Terezi grins. Fine? Okay, well that's worse than nice.
I'm embarrassed to know all of you.
Solix announces.
I don't think I did anything to warrant that.
Equius sniffs haughtily. Kill me now. Hal, can you tell us things about Earth so that we can be helpful when we get there? Climate, biology, that sort of thing. Political climate, that'd be helpful. You groan.
Seeing as how, against all expectations, you seem to actually be sincere and not your predecessor, I will share with you what I think you should know. But no one's getting access to my systems to pry more out of me.
Hal says that last part very sternly. Well, surely your system would be your mind, right? That'd be a huge invasion for a sentient person, so of course we won't. You agree?
Well, are you going to stay out of my computer system since you've apparently been sneaking through them?
Solix asks testily.
Nah.
Hal says casually, and Solix hisses in anger. Thank you, Hal, you tell him instead.
You're welcome,
Hal says, sounding pleased at being thanked in the first place. By the time you get to the astronavigation and... Yeah, that's correct. By the time you get to astronavigation and spot the private, whose name escapes you again, Hal has already sent over a good deal of information. From there, you can start handing out work, getting orders in for the right kind of food and supplies should you need them, sending food to Roxy and Dirk that you think they can eat. You send an Imperial summons for the Turniaforming bots, probably the same kind that were used to turn Dirk and Roxy's formerly watery but temperate planet to a totally flooded ball of water. From your best estimations, she was trying to make a world specifically for sea dwellers, despite the fact that the people currently living there can't survive underwater. You summon teams of genetic engineers and bid them to follow you. It'll be hard work reviving the flora and fauna of Earth, but you intend to put the damn planet back just how she found it. Better, even. You give Dirk and Roxy near free reign of the ship, allowed to go almost anywhere as long as there are trolls there to supervise them. Your crew are told to treat them as guests, and though the two humans regard all of you with well-earned suspicion, the peregrine-long journey back to their planet softens them some. You overhear a familiar alien face recounting a story to the humans about your vacation that went wrong and turned into a revolution. You duck away before you're seen and self-consciously run a finger over the cut over your artificial eye. You were stupid and reckless then, but it did earn you some of Solix's pity, so it was worth it. You pause in the hallway and lean against the wall so you're out of the way and control Solix with that especially sappy thought. It's true. You'd risk any number of body parts to be with him, after all. He's delightfully flustered by it. You're grinning to yourself like a tool as you consider going in for the kill by mentioning all the things you wanted before you were together. That always makes him pity you more, and it's a pretty solid way to ensure that you're not going to be doing much else with your evening from the time you get back to your shared block. "Who are you talking to?" A voice asks in Alternian that doesn't sound quite right coming out of a throat like that. You jump and look to see Roxy lurking in the doorway, watching you. It's nothing," you say in a hurry, very conscious of the fact that, compared to your age, these humans aren't really adults yet. Or if so, they're barely adults. "Well, Mr. Emperor, if that is your real name," Roxy grins. "What? It's not. It's Carcat," you tell her, and her face falls a little. "It's a reference that you obviously wouldn't get, so I made it. Anyway, I may have only known one other human my whole life, but we had lots of human movies, as well as everything Alternian the Earth ever got. So, I know someone who's all lovey-dovey when I see them," Roxy tells you, slipping back into human language for part of it. "Someone who's all... what?" you ask curiously. In love. Love. It's a human thing," she sighs.
Roxy, where are... Oh.
Dirk says, peering around the door and seeing the two of you. "I'm trying to explain love to him," Roxy says, waving a hand at you. Dirk looks at you skeptically, or at least his mouth is a thin line.
I don't think he'll get it,
Dirk says. "Try me," you tell them both. They look at each other and then at you. Roxy grins. Want to trade narrator?
Yeah, of course.
Wee.
That's how you end up on the lounge plank in their ship, staring misty-eyed at their second human romance movie of the day, shown on what passes for a TV in their species. You're clutching a cushion to your chest and trying to control your emotions when Sullix shows up. There you are. Oh, that's not Sullix's voice.
Not quite.
But that is... There you are. What the hell? Sullix demands with a frown. You try to come up with a response, but all you can do is cry. Sullix looks startled and comes closer quickly, glaring at the two humans. "What did you do to him?" Sullix snarls. "Forced him to watch trashy movies, that's all," Dirk says casually, although his body language says he's ready to fight.
"Romance movies."
Roxy adds.
"They're so happy."
You wail, pointing at the screen, and Sullix's shoulders drop. "Seriously?" He sighs at you despairingly. "I thought you hated that thing now," he adds, glancing at the screen.
"This isn't... It's not like that. No quadrants." You choke out. Sorry.
You choke out, wiping your face with your sleeve. You're absolutely ruining Kanaya's careful scene work. You point at the screen and Sullix watches, reading the subtitles. On screen, Rose is telling Jack that they can't do this, that they cannot be together because she is engaged to the other man, Cal, that she absolutely does not love.
"I'm marrying Cal. I love Cal,"
She says unconvincingly. "Rose," Jack sighs as he looks at her with hatred and pity both at once. "You're no picnic, all right. You're a spoiled little brat, even." "Picked?" Celix whispers, and you hush him. But under that, you're the most amazing, astounding, wonderful woman that I've ever known. And Jack is cut off by Rose, and you can see how Celix's eyebrows rise. Fluff? Pale? Carcat, what are... Celix says slowly, and you put your hand over his mouth. Rose is protesting again, and Jack is trying to say his bit. He's trying to explain them apart, their social standing and all, but that's not the message you care about here. That's not why you're crying like you're a kid watching rom-coms and not fitting what you see at all. But this... Oh, his irritation is pitch-like. His adoration flutch, and his... Flutch? Flutch? Okay, Satan, that's a word now.
Canon.
Flutch. But this, oh, his irritation is pitch-like, his adoration flush, and his protectiveness is every inch pale. Not changing from one to another, but all at once, mixed up, stupid, contradictory, just like you.
They're in love. That's what humans have. Love. It's all of it.
You sniffle. Love. Celix repeats.
Trolls don't do that, right? It's quadrants for you guys, isn't it?
Roxy asks uncertainly. Yeah, I need to borrow him, Celix says and pulls you to your feet. The humans seem deeply confused, but Celix is determined to pull you back to your blocks that make up your little hive within the ship. You're still sniffling as you walk, red tears tracked down your face, and everyone you pass looks deeply concerned for you. Celix doesn't say anything until you're safely within your block. They do what you do, he says simply, and you nod, tears spilling down your face. There's a whole planet of people just like you, and you could have so easily never known.
There's a word for it.
You say thickly. Love, Celix says once more, wrapping his tongue around the alien word.
It's love. I love you. We're in love. You are loved.
You say, running the variants of the word that you know out for him to hear. Celix tells you softly and wipes your face off. You're probably kind of gross. He probably doesn't want to... Oh well, never mind then, because he's kissing you anyway. I guess I love you then, he says easily, and just having a word for it hurts in the very best way.
Yeah, I love you.
You tell him thickly and nod.
You're not doing anything until tomorrow.
You tell him and pull him back into your respite block. Are you asking because I have...
Telling you.
He starts.
Oh, sorry. Did too fast again, damn it. Telling you. You're a fish... Dang it.
You okay?
I want to get Carcat's emotions right in this, but I've tripped up myself twice. It's okay. We learn, we grow. Telling you. Your schedule is officially imperially cleared. I need you right here.
You say a little breathlessly, because you're in love. It's a thing. It's a thing. I can do that. Celix grins. The crown on your head pays attention to the rest of your evening as you act possessive, selfish, lustful. Celix can bring out all of that in you, but neither of you are inclined to complain. It takes nearly a perigee for you to get close to Earth. Their galaxy swims up close to you as you come up, and Dirk and Roxy stand there watching the screens.
This isn't what my mom had in mind, I don't think.
Roxy says softly. You've watched enough human movies now to know that a mom is like a Lucis, but they genetically made you. Or my bro, Dirk agrees. Bro being short for brother, a hatchmate of the same mom or dad. You're learning these things.
You go, Carcat. They thought you'd be fighting us?
You guess. They died fighting the Empress, killing the puppet government they left in charge and attacking her personally. That's why we were chosen to come after her. No one was going to raise us anyway, and the Earth had gone to shit. Miss English already had the ship built, so I guess it just made sense. Dirk shrugs.
What if there's no one there? What if they couldn't survive?
Roxy whispers as the ship skirts close to their solar system. Dirk has nothing to say to that and instead catches her hand in his. KK, Stelix calls quietly as he comes across the room to you. You look around and see him beckoning you over, so you leave the two humans be for the moment. It seems like they're having a moment anyway. You need to be prepared for this to be bad, you know? Stelix warns you.
I know, they said...
You begin. No, I know that. You know that, but whenever we find a world that the Empress fucked up, it tears you up. Like you could have overthrown her earlier than you did, and because you didn't, it's all your fault. You always do this, so just try not to, okay? We're here to fix things, Stelix tells you, all assertively pale and sweet.
I don't think that.
You huff. You absolutely do think that. You had already been thinking it, in fact. Stelix is entirely unconvinced, zaps you slightly with his psionics as a mild punishment for lying to him. It's enough to make you shout in shock and have several people look over curiously, but it hardly hurts.
Asshole.
You hiss at him and shove it. Uh-huh. Wait, that looks promising, Stelix says, pointing at the screen.
It's the third from the sun. There was a show about that.
Roxy says. The navigation technicians sweep the sensors around and bring up a zoomed-in image of the right planet. A little blue blood space, wreathed in fluffy white. No ice caps, Dirk says quietly as you come closer.
They have satellites, working ones.
Great Eye notes as she fiddles with the controls at her station. She used to be on your ship when you were just a pirate, and now she runs this whole department.
Settlements. Look.
She beams and, wah! Oh no, what the fuck?
Another jump?
My phone exited me. It didn't jump. My phone exited me out of docks.
Oh no. Your phone can sense the end coming and was like, nah, you out.
My phone like ollie outie. Okay. She beams and throws an image up on the screen. Floating cities, loads of them all over the place. Dirk and Roxy heave a joint sigh of relief, and it's only a moment that you get to enjoy their secondhand happiness before alarms start blaring everywhere.
They're firing on us. Warheads of something.
Great Eye announces. Nuclear, probably. Can the ship stand that? Dirk asks in a hurry. I'm not waiting to find out, Selig says, and holds out his hands like a conductor about to start a concert. On the screen, the missiles that were on their way to you halt where they are before Selig pulls them up and away from both you and Earth. He balls them up together, and then the explosion flashes through space, harmlessly away from all of you. Dirk and Roxy are staring at Selig in awe, and a few of the Goldbloods in the room are looking on with something like envy on their faces. You should probably just say hi, Selig says.
Right. Great Eye, can you... Actually, fuck it. Can you just get me into anything with a screen on that planet? Thanks.
You say. Great Eye looks a little stressed and takes a few moments. Eventually, Selig leans over and taps a few things for her. She nods at you and the screen before you reflex yourself. You take a second to make sure that your hair isn't doing anything desperately stupid before hitting the button to start broadcasting. You put on what you hope is a reassuring smile and start talking.
Hello, Earth. Hello, Earth. I am Emperor Karkat Vantis. My predecessor was Her Imperious Condescension, but she's dead now. I understand she took over and damaged your planet, and until just recently, I didn't know about this at all. But your human children, Dirk and Roxy, can you two come over here?
You ask, glancing away at them and waving them over. Durkee,
Just a little Durkee.
you take over.
Sure. Dirk and Roxy look a little surprised, but wander into frame anyway. They found me, and after we cleared up the leadership misunderstanding, they told me, us, all about your problems. We are here to help, you say. Roxy says something quickly in her human language, and Dirk laughs, or smothers his laugh a little too late. You're getting to grips a bit with their language. It helps that Hal is live subtitling everything they show you, and your languages share a lot of grammatical similarities. It's not enough for you to understand what she just said, though.
It's an old joke about aliens. We come in peace is how it translates.
Dirk explains. Oh, but we do come in peace, you frown, and Roxy doubles over, giggling. Incoming transmission, Great Eye says, and sends it over to you. The screen changes to show you a human man set behind a desk with several flags behind him, one of which you recognize as the flag for the American country.
Emperor Karkat Vantis,
the man says, his Alternian a little stiff and accented, but very intelligible all the same.
Holy shit, it's former President Barack Obama. I thought you were killed by clowns.
Dirk gasps.
No, oh, that's Dirk. Let me clear. No, it keeps going Texan, motherfucker.
It's hard to untexan once you've Texaned.
Once you go Texan, you can't go back. No, your brother saved my life. My life? My life. One sec. Let me be clear. Don't get it twisted. Let's see how pretty your face is after my fist has kissed it. Okay. No, your brother saved my life. Dave Strider was my hero. We lost a good man when he died. Is Emperor Vantis's peace message sincere to your knowledge?
The man asks.
He is...
Dirk looks at you, then takes his shades off and switches to fast and accented English that you just don't understand just yet. Roxy smacks him on the arm and says something of her own. The president nods. I don't know what they just said to you, but really, we want to help. I want to make things right, you say hopefully. You really do. You're so many light years away from where you were hatched, where you accepted your unnameable feelings for what they were. But now, you're right above a planet that came up with the word for what you feel, and you'll do all that you can to save it. Not just because it's right, or because they didn't deserve what the Empress did to them, but because they're just like you. They love too.
Well, Emperor Vantis, I think we can see about making that happen.
The president smiles.
And that's the end. I'm sorry I kept fucking up on Obama.
It's okay.
Not Obama.
Obama wonderful. he's the main surprise cameo we were hinting at, and we were like, Sox plus, Carcat plus. Surprise.
Yeah,
Obama.
don't mind me like muttering like Obama versus Mitt Romney. Rap battles of history, because that's quite literally how I'd been practicing the Obama voice. And then of course I get to Obama and it's like, no, you're going to Texas.
Obama is Texan now. I mean, so much of the world flooded. Maybe everyone is now Texas. Maybe Earth is...
Everything is Texas.
Everything is Texas.
Everything's bigger in Texas. No, everything is Texas.
Yep.
New headcanon.
New headcanon.
Everything is Texas.
I mean, I think that's how some Texans feel, so. Making their headcanon real canon. That's the stream. That's the things. Yeah. We'll be back next week with the shorter stories. One-shots.
Yeah.
Like one-shots even. How bizarre.
Yeah. And hopefully my brain will remember how reading works.
Not knowing how reading works is just a fact of life. I don't know if it ever really goes away. I mean, you've heard me tumble along this with you.
Yeah. Listen, we're both just at the end. We're just like, just gook.
Right. Straight up. I might make, well, the next 2 sessions will definitely be shorter, but I might,
Yeah.
for future things, future features, I might be changing, like, when quote-unquote chapters are for, like, when we actually talk and do stuff. For comfort.
Oh, makes sense. It definitely gets to a point where it's like, do I know how to speak? No.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how to speak. My jaw hurts. I'm covered in spit. It's
Yep.
fine.
This brings up parts of being a human I wasn't ready to acknowledge today.
Oh my God. Pretty much. But
Yeah.
I'm
All of y'all
gonna
take care.
let you go.
Drink water.
I will talk to you later. Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll
Have a great
be
night.